today I want to show you how to prepare for a job interview when you only have like 45 minutes. So I want to focus on teaching you how to interview like a pro. Now, in most cases, the image that you project to your interviewer is more important than your experience. You see, in addition to your experience and your education, your poise, mannerisms, social skills, and communication style all project who you are as a person, and they give interviewers a feeling for your character. And in the early stages of the interview process, character is everything. Now, during the interview, you and the interviewer are going to chat and basically exchange information and ideas back and forth. I mean, it's only through this conversation that the two of you will be able to determine whether you're a good fit for each other and either continue the conversation, which means more interviews, or you'll part ways. So the first thing that must be at the top of your list is timeliness, which means don't ever be late for a job interview, whether in person or virtual. Now you're probably saying, Don, come on, I know that. I'm not going to be late. Well, I don't just mean showing up on time for the interview. I mean all throughout the process. I mean, if you're going to get this job, there's going to be a lot of back and forth during the interview process, which might drag on for 2 or 3 weeks. So if you tell your interviewer that, you'll do something by a certain date, or that you'll call them, or that you'll call someone on their team by a certain time, make sure you do it. I mean, they might simply ask you to send over your references. And if you say, yeah, I'll get them over to you tomorrow by 10 a.m., you better have them over to them by 10 a.m. the next day. Or, they might ask you to take an online assessment by a certain time. Make sure you do it. And just one slip up on timeliness can totally cost you the job. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Be familiar with the interviewer's name. I mean, make it your mission to know the names of all your interviewers and how to spell and even pronounce them. Even look them up on LinkedIn to get some background on them, to see, where they've worked before and the positions they've held, because you might find some common ground there and you can bring that into the interview. And prepare to have some good questions to ask. So before entering the interview room, make it your mission to come up with some good questions that you want to ask them, questions that are going to challenge them. Now, the best ones are the ones that are going to help you decide if this is a place that you want to work. I mean, you might simply ask them and say, hey, if we were to come to an arrangement where you offered me the position, how do you see me fitting in around here? And what could I expect over the next 6 months? Now, this question challenges them, and it forces them to visualize you in the role. Now, another one that you might want to ask is, what are the first-year accountabilities for this role? And what metrics would you use to evaluate my performance? You see, this question shows them that you want to know how you're going to be held accountable in the role. And employers know that only the best people ask this question because the best people are the ones who are focused on delivering exceptional results, and that's why they want to know what they're going to be held accountable for. Now, another good question to ask is, has a salary range been determined for this position? Now, unless you're willing to work for free, don't be timid about asking this question. And then one last question that's worth asking. I mean, you might say, hey, can you describe your company culture and how it plays a role in the success of your company? And this question shows them that you're not just looking for a job, but you're looking for a place where you'll fit in, a place where you can do your best work. Okay? Let's move on to the next one here. Preparation. Bring extra resumes with you, bring your references, but don't offer your references unless they ask. Bring a pen and a notebook, and as the interview progresses, take notes on areas where you want to circle back with the interviewer and ask them follow-up questions. And take notes on the challenges the employer is facing, because the more you know and understand what their pain points are, the better equipped you'll be to sell yourself as a solution to their needs. And when you're sharing your stories, don't be long-winded. Just get to the point as quickly as you can. Trust me, your interviewer does not want to hear you prattle on for 5 minutes. You want to keep your answers short and to the point, and try to avoid talking for longer than 60 seconds at a time. And next, be a good listener and listen when your interviewer tells you, what they're looking for in the ideal candidate. And then ask follow-up questions to show them that you understand what they're looking for. For example, they might say, we're looking for a senior developer who can lead a team to build an app that, monitors blood pressure. So you'll come back and say, so you're looking for an accomplished software developer who has extensive application experience with medical device software and someone who can successfully lead a team of developers working on cradle-to-grave projects. And they'll be like, yeah, that's exactly right. That's what we're looking for. You understand us. That's what we're trying to accomplish. You see, it's so important to recite their needs back to them in your own words, because that truly shows that you understand what they want to accomplish. Remember, these are pro tips that I'm sharing with you today. I don't normally get this deep. Now, when you understand them, your chances for the job are just going to skyrocket. And that's how you go in there. That's how you nail the job interview. That's how you land the job. All right, next one here. Mind your language. And this goes without saying, but don't ever use cuss words, even if your interviewer does, because no matter how you say them, it's a ding against your character. And I'll tell you this, I was just working with a client last week, and she said she dropped the F-bomb in her interview. You know what? That was it. That ended the whole process right there. It was over. So I know sometimes these words slip out in the interview, but put those filters on and show them the person that you really are in that interview. And lastly, always end your interview on an upbeat and optimistic note by telling them how excited you are about the role and that you're looking forward to the next steps. And then, when you get home, or if you're already there because it was a virtual interview, send your interviewer a simple thank you note that thanks them for their time and further expresses your interest in the job. Now, go out there and make that job yours, my friend. Now, before you go, if you have a little bit more time than 45 minutes, you might want to practice some questions, some common questions to job interviews. And this book has 10 of the most common questions in it. It's like, why do you want to work here? What are your weaknesses? What are your strengths? Do you have any questions for us? This book has all those. It's going to help get you started with the interview. Now, obviously, if you only have 45 minutes before your interview, don't even bother downloading this because there's no time to go through this. But, if you have a couple hours or even a day, preferably, get this book. You can get it from jobinterviewtools.com/top10. Just put in your name, email, address, tell me where to send it. I'll get it right out to you. And let's just say, for example, you only have 45 minutes. Don't get this now, but come back and get it later and use it for your next interview. All right, my friend, if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you're not already subscribed, what's holding you back? All right, we'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye now.